Some believe that the seed mentioned in Genesis 22, verse 18, is not Jesus because of his statement in Matthew 15, verse 24. How is this argument articulated? The argument concerning the seed mentioned in Genesis 22, verse 18, and Jesus' statement in Matthew 15, verse 24, involves interpreting biblical texts and understanding the scope of Jesus' mission according to the New Testament. In Genesis 22, verse 17 to 18, God promises Abraham, "I will surely bless you and make your descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky and as the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will take possession of the cities of their enemies, and through your offspring, seed, all nations on earth will be blessed because you have obeyed me." This promise, particularly the part about through your offspring, all nations on earth will be blessed, is seen by Christians as a messianic prophecy referring to Jesus Christ. The argument that it refers to Jesus is supported by passages in the New Testament, such as Galatians 3, verse 16, where Paul explicitly identifies Christ as the seed to whom the promise was made. However, some argue that the seed mentioned in Genesis cannot be Jesus based on his statement in Matthew 15, verse 24. In this passage, Jesus says, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of Israel." This statement is made in the context of Jesus initially refusing to help a Canaanite woman who asked him to heal her demon-possessed daughter. Jesus' declaration of being sent only to the lost sheep of Israel is interpreted by some as evidence that his mission was exclusively to the Jewish people, not to all nations. Thus, the argument against Jesus being the seed mentioned in Genesis 22, verse 18, is articulated by pointing out a perceived contradiction between the universal blessing promised to Abraham's seed, implying a mission to all nations, and Jesus' own words limiting his mission to the Israelites. Critics of the view that Jesus is the fulfillment of the Genesis prophecy might argue that if Jesus himself stated his mission was only to the Israelites, then he cannot be the seed through whom all nations on earth are blessed, as described in Genesis. In summary, based on Jesus' statement, some believe that Jesus saw his mission primarily as being directed towards the Jewish people and not necessarily towards all humanity. Therefore, they argue that it is unlikely for Jesus to be directly linked to the seed promised to Abraham in Genesis 22, verse 18.